All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Stand Up Again podcast with myself, Mike Brown. Now, you might be thinking, where's this guy been? What's been going on? What have we been doing all this time? And you would be fair enough to say that too. I've certainly been through some interesting times over the last few months, and there's something about when you go for something that you wish to do, something that you want to do. And like the title of this podcast episode is, there's a fine art to self-sabotage. And I've certainly become quite the artist, I feel. But it hasn't been something that came to me all of a sudden. It's not something that came like a slap in the face, which perhaps I wish it could have. But it's been more of a slow burn, I would say. Something that's been sort of chipping away at me, but also my awareness around this has become more attuned to shit, this is actually what self-sabotage looks like. So I don't know what it looks like for you. And, this is just what's been happening with me over the last couple of months, right? So by all means, buckle up. We're going to get into it. So first of all, I as you can see, we're here. You can see me, and I'm here with you. So really wanted to come back with something extra for you guys, something to help me share, and that something hopefully you guys would like as well. Because I have been getting a lot of amazing comments, and a lot of nice words about the podcast, and even though I've got to go through my own challenges of this fucking self-doubt or sabotaging behaviors, or I still don't even know exactly what it is, but I'm going to nut it out with you here today on today's episode. So welcome and thanks for coming. So what happened with me a couple of months back, right? I had taken on this new lease of life. I started to invest in myself. I went through some programs, some self-development stuff, and really started to dive into this type of work. And a part of that journey, I came across the opportunity to actually pack up my things and return back home to my home country. I came back for a short period for a holiday, and I visited my parents and caught up with some families and old family friends, and met with a beautiful woman as well, which was another very important part of this journey that I've been involved in, and which has been, my life. So yeah, it's been a very interesting time. It's been a time of great growth, and then every time you grow, you get yourself a whole new set of things to try and figure out, right? So that's kind of what I've been doing. So I came back to New Zealand as the country that I'm in right now, which is amazing to come back home. Been away for probably over 25 years. So it was really great to come back and to reconnect with family, your homeland. It's such an important thing to do is to, while I'm a big fan of like moving around and experiencing new cultures and new things and new places, people, relationships, all that type of stuff is amazing. But to return back to your homeland is been quite an interesting experience and something that I've really enjoyed. However, as I was on this journey, a part of the journey that I had obviously taken on as well was, I'm going to go, I want to go viral on the internet. I want to start an internet business. This is what I want to do. I want to help people. I've had this amazing experience. Maybe I can help someone else, because I remember that, for me, it was back in the day. It was really hard to find that help when I was looking for it, or when I was searching, or when I was just lost. So that was the plan. And I came back. I started posting on social media, on Instagram and TikTok, with these inspirational quotes and dancing videos. You might possibly be here because of the podcast, because you've seen the video, so you know what I'm talking about. And they were amazing. They were really a reflection of things that were happening with me, things that I was going through, and that's why it resonated so well, right? And so the plan was, right, to set up some live coaching, some online coaching, I should say, some online coaching where I could start to reach people and start to help them with their journey, finding themselves, rebuilding their confidence, particularly after, a breakup in marriage, breakup in relationships, this type of things. Okay. So anything that people were really struggling with their self-confidence, or why they're continuing with these bad behaviors, these are things I was wanting to look at to help people with. So I set out on this journey, and part of the journey was something that I'd never done before, which was just quit my job. I just quit my job and packed up my things, living in Australia. And because there were just a few things, and I found that the few things that I had when I was living in Australia were somewhat holding me there. And I just felt that, having physical things, a nice podcast studio, these types of things, is not a reason to stay somewhere, So I had these real human connections that I really wanted to dive deeper into. So I made the move, and I quit my job without having another job lined up, which was something, again, stepping into my confidence, stepping into my power. I'm ready. I'm good. I don't need a job. I'll get another job. In the meantime, let me build, let me continue. So that's what I started to do. I started to post more. I started to work with other coaches, working within their communities, and starting to try to find out how I could make this work. And I guess anything that you try, anything that you do that's new, that you're going to come across these challenges, right? I mean, of course. And that is something that I did. I came across challenges that were not necessarily presenting themselves to me, but they were more a perceived challenge. So something that I was bringing. And this is, I think, where it comes into the self-sabotaging behavior, something that I never really realized or knew that I was doing. But having stepped into this positive space, having realized negative thought patterns that I had, being in a really dark place for some time, stepping into something that's so positive, wanting to help people, putting, high energy content out there on Instagram, recording podcasts, talking about things, all these things that were just this positive momentum that I was building, it really started to open the cracks of, hey, limiting beliefs. Hey, fear has come back again in different forms. And I started to, I would say that I did start to shrink. And then I would also say that I was bringing in, yes, I was bringing in some excuses, but I also believe that some of them were legit. I came to New Zealand. I was moving around, right? So I was traveling to different areas and trying things out. So you can imagine, sitting at a studio doing the podcast, everything was very challenging, and not only challenging to do and to learn and to get through. It was challenging to push myself every time, challenging to get the posts up, challenging to do another podcast, and all these things were sort of gaining momentum on me as well. So, and then aside from all of that, right, guys, you put all that aside, right? Put, all the internal challenges and the stuff you got to learn and all these new things, right? That's just what it is. But the time and energy that it takes for the stuff that I was doing, well, it wasn't generating any income, and my savings money was going down and down. So um, I really had decided that I needed to stop and I needed to focus on getting some more actual work that was going to bring me money. I know that putting stuff out there and the amazing vibes and feeling I was getting was awesome, but I also understood pretty keenly that it wasn't going to pay the bills. And like it or not, we got to pay the bills, right? So that's what I basically had to. I pulled back from doing so much social media, and I noticed it. I noticed a lot. I got up to like 180 something thousand followers on Instagram, which was great. And it was everything that I thought I needed to do. But it turned out that it was just a part of something that I needed to do, and there were so many other elements involved, and that's part of you know getting another coach, getting someone else to support you, someone else is doing what you want to do, and join them, if that's an option. So these are all these things that I was, learning along the way. So that's what I did. I basically stepped back, and I moved away from the positive high energy dance videos. They are amazing to make, and I really enjoy making them. But it just they take a lot of time. That's basically what it is. It takes a lot of time actually to make these things. So um, I pulled back. I was still, like I said, traveling to the place that didn't have a place. My new partner and I hadn't really hadn't settled down yet. We were still looking to where we were going to stay. We were traveling around this beautiful South Island of New Zealand, and we had the privilege and to be able to live in certain areas and just get a feel if this was the place we wanted to be at. Which we ended up staying in this amazing place where we're right on the bottom of some hills. We've got some trails up behind us, and the ocean's a 5-minute drive away. So we're really blessed to have found where I'm at. And then on top of that is, well, now I'm here. It's the video podcast. So I guess you could say I'm back. And I never really went anywhere, but just had to put a little pause on it. So yeah, we're back, and the Stand Up Again podcast is starting now with video podcasts that I'm really excited about doing. I've been learning a lot about lighting and videos and editing and all this stuff, which has been just a really, really enjoyable thing to do. And I can't wait to share more stories with you guys. I'm also lining up some guests to come on. Where I can, I would love to have people live in the room with me. Hopefully I can do that more often than not. If not, well, we'll just try them in on a video, and so we can get to share our thoughts and things together. So I'm very excited about that. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me again. And I won't leave you. I won't leave you again. We'll stick around and we'll keep sharing, and we'll keep growing together. So I guess another thing that I wanted to mention, a part of the podcast, which I'm super excited about doing, is there's an opportunity, and I'll put the link just in the section below this podcast. You'll see there's a link where you can leave me a message. So it's super easy to do. You just need to click on it. You don't need to put in an email or sign up or none of that stuff. You just click on it and you record a message and let me know what's going on. I've been doing a couple of short, what do we call that? Mindset reset trainings lately, which has been amazing. And I really do miss that connection with you guys. Having the opportunity to share and discuss things would be amazing. And I just feel that on the podcast, if you guys wanted to send a message, share what's going on in your life right now, I'll be happy to discuss it. We'll do it on the fly, like it won't be rehearsed. You can send your message in. I'll play it on the podcast so everyone can hear it, and we'll talk about it. You can leave it anonymously, your name, whatever. Okay. I just think it would be a really cool way for us to be able to interact with each other. And, one thing that I've definitely learned in this journey is that there's always someone that's got something going on similar to you. There's always one person. It might only be a few words that you say. It might only be a sentence, and you're going to help someone else. So by opening up, by sharing, and by communicating, you just have no idea. And I'm case in point of how powerful and what that message that you're sharing can get out there to. It was only 6 months ago. It's only 6 months ago that I had, 400 followers of, friends, people that I'd met over the years on my Instagram. And then when I started to share my message, a message that honestly I didn't think would go anywhere or do anything, it's blown up, which is an amazing thing. So now we've got to keep going, man. We've got to keep driving. We've got to keep learning. We're going to keep sharing, and we're going to keep these podcasts going. So I'm going to be setting these up for every week now. So every Friday or every weekend, there'll be a new podcast episode coming up, and so that you can get involved with that. And then as we grow, I will look at doing more stuff. So I'm really excited about you guys coming on to join me on these new video podcasts and be here with me. So the self-sabotage behavior that I've noticed, right? I want to try to articulate that a bit, because I feel like it's a dark, shadowy beast that creeps up on you, and you don't even notice. And if you're not that aware, then you're definitely going to creep up and get you. And I mean, I like to think that I've become more aware lately, and I certainly have been learning a lot more about this space. But then all of a sudden you sort of look around, you're like, oh wow, I'm in that space too. So yeah, I had some reasons why I would pause and why I wanted to, take a break from the social media, moving around, not having my own sort of space. It was an exciting journey. I love what I was doing, but I really wanted my own sort of space, which is the space here that you're here with me now. So, but I do know for sure that there were times where I could have started, and I didn't, and I got into my head more. And one thing I did notice is that once I realized that, hey, I'm trying to do this thing, I'm trying to set up my coaching programs and build this amazing business, and it's not going as well as I was expecting it to. You get a certain amount of momentum in the beginning. Everything's new. You're learning. You've pushed yourself through challenges. You've really made some growth, right? And then you got to play the long game, right? You got to keep going. And I feel like I was building this pressure up on myself to perform. I think it's to perform is what I'm trying to say. And that's why I think, putting that pressure on performance, and then the inner voices, the self-talk that you have that sneaks in there and starts to, it's like a whisper in your ear, that little sucker in there is just whispering in your ear. And he's telling you things like, oh man, you shouldn't be doing it. No one's going to care. This talk, no one, who are you to do this? All these types of things started creeping in. And then it's like, then it just starts to stack on top of each other. Like every little negative thing, everything bad that's been happened in your past, it starts to jump back on fucking that pile as well, And it's a bitch. So, my questioning myself again, about my marriage breakup and my fatherhood and how I'm not in contact with my daughters, all these things, bang, bang. So it's like this big freaking pancake of doom starts to pile up in you. And that's when I started really noticing, oh shit, man, you're self-sabotaging. You're going inwards more. You're closing off. You're shutting down, which was an interesting thing to notice between going to, hey, I've got to do some things for myself and I've got to make some changes. I need to do some of these things and this thing and that thing. But then that evolved from there to, like negative thoughts, fear, all these dark energies started to take back over again, which is and then then you throw on top of that, oh man, now I've allowed myself to get into the space again. Now I've allowed myself, I've let the darkness back in, all these things you start to beat up yourself on again, they start coming back. And and I'm just so thankful I, that I have gone through some coaching programs, that I have built my own self-development program, that I have been helping other people, because that helping and that work that you're doing with other people creates awareness within yourself. What, you know, another big thing for me in the self-development space as well was learning that you don't really get fixed. It's not really getting fixed. You don't fix yourself as such. You learn how to deal with the darkness. You learn how to deal or regulate yourself when you notice those things coming back. And I guess that comes back to that awareness. I think really the true superpower in all of these, in all of this personal development space is, awareness. That is the key to it all. Being aware of when these things happen, now you can course correct. Being aware that, oh shit, I've been sitting on the couch all weekend and haven't done anything. Oh, well, now I can make sure I get myself up and not continue to spiral and beat yourself up and let, the negative pancake build up and get another layer on top of you. So, yeah, where was I going with that? I was on an angle there, and sorry guys if you think if I'm jumping all over the place a bit today, because well, it's been a while, so I'm a bit out of practice, and well, yeah, like I said, I'm just starting to get again, and I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to do my best, and sometimes trying to do your best, leads you to compare yourself to when you were better than what you were now, or what you were then, or and just I'm just trying to do the best as I am now, you know, trying to be the best I can be right now, and that's in the present moment. So yeah, that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So, and there is one other thing that's been on my mind, and as much as I love helping people and have the privilege and really the honor to help people, it's been amazing. But there's also this bit, and maybe someone out there that's watching this podcast or listening to this in some place somewhere can help me a bit, because I am looking to figure out the best fucking way to reconnect with my daughters. It's super challenging. Just being a father with teenage girls, even if they're under the same roof, let alone now they're on the other side of the world. They're living in Israel, and on the other side of the world, and just doing WhatsApp messages back and forth. Well, it wasn't really even back and forth. That would be probably something. I was sending videos to them, so I would just send videos, and it would just trying to share the smallest things during the day. Again, you get to this trying to build yourself up, like, oh, I've got to, every video I send them has got to be some teachable moment or some profound fucking thing I've got to say, or so they understand, or you know and I just don't know. I don't know what to do anymore, because I would always get a few words back, um a couple of sentences maybe as well, and I guess I'm dropping off with that as well. I'm allowing the darkness to hide me from even trying to share with my daughters, which is just a bizarre thing. And you know, this whole journey has been around, how to rebuild, how to stand up again, how to keep going forward, even though, your ideas of what your life was going to be like have turned out, considerably different. And my ideas of what I was going to be as a father, well, that certainly hasn't come to fruition, right? So if there's anyone out there that has some experience in this, or has some knowledge, or just wants to share, that would be great, man. Send me a message on Instagram. I'm always checking the messages. I'm always reading the comments. So by all means, share. That would be great. That would be nice to hear. Like I said again, check out the link in the underneath this episode, and there's a link there with the message. You can just record a quick message. That would be amazing. Chat about it on the next episode. It would be great. So that's it, guys. That's the podcast. We're back. We got the video. We got the audio. I'm so pleased that you guys are here joining me, and we're just going to keep going, man. Every week we'll be back, bringing some guests, some amazing people to talk to, get their ideas on life and the world around us. And until then, we'll see you next week. Like I said, peace.